Hey, good morning, everybody. Just want to give a quick word of encouragement since this week, Monday, beginning of the week. You know what? Everybody probably on the East Coast, you're already at work, heading to lunch. But here's just a quick word. I know a lot of you saw my post last night on Facebook. You know, kind of felt down a little bit. But, you know, kind of like a loner. That's what I wrote, so I'm just going to use that word. But you know, I live on a block in Cali where there's predominantly Mexican. So, like, every weekend or so, even on a Sunday, they have parties. And, you know, someone I knew down the block was having something going on, and well, gave me an invite, and I didn't really want to go. Kind of awkward. Anyways, but then, you know, that was in the back of my mind, like, whether to go or not, which I knew ultimately, no, I'm not going to go, for more reasons than one. And then, you know, the whole block, you had people listening to music, you had the kids running around. You know, it was like everybody was having fun, and here I'm home alone, and there's nothing to do. You know, there's like, okay, this sucks. Sorry, point blank. But hey, no, I don't care what nobody says. People say, you know, they don't need nobody, whatever. They could do everything on their own. Nah, God didn't create us like that. God created us, you know, fellowship with one another. That, you know, we have relationships with one another. So, anyways, yeah, I felt kind of down, but I was outside, and God allowed me a quick minute before everybody where I live left, including the dog, by the way. If I had her, I probably wouldn't have felt as bad. But anyway, I'm nuts, I know. But before they even left, I got to just chill outside and, you know, have some fun with the kids next door. And it was kind of, you know, that was cool. But shortly after, when they left, and I was just standing outside, and I was honest with God how I was feeling. He already knew anyway. That you know, I had that feeling where, even though back home, I probably would have been doing the same thing. You know, just being inside my apartment. But just, yeah, I don't know, just those feelings came back, you know, lonely. Everybody has that once in a while. So, and, you know, God was showing me, He kind of just, like, put it in my spirit. He's like, look around. Take a good look around. Dismiss the fun that you see the guys going on. Dismiss the kids laughing, the music, you know, or, you know, people laughing rather, and kids playing. You know, dismiss all of that stuff, and look deeper. Take a closer look at what's really going on. And I didn't know really what he meant, but again, he repeated that back and was silent. And I was like, okay, you know, I kind of looked up and down the block, and half of that laughing of people, you know, people laughing, making jokes and stuff, was because they were drunk. There was beer bottles everywhere. And I'll say this to, you know, be judgmental, be like a Pharisee, and saying I'm better, you know, legalistic. No, none of that. There's a point to this. These people were so drunk that they were acting like fools, point blank. That they were doing stuff they want to do when they were sober. That's what made it funny. And when a close look at it, it was like they looking like a fool, complete fool, making a fool of themselves. But when you step back, you know, from what I saw, because I was, you know, so preoccupied with my own feelings, I didn't see that. It took God saying, hey, step back, see what I see. and then you really saw the reality of it. You saw what he was saying, everything from God's eyes. And and the music, salsa music, and merengue, Mexicans, and I'm part Puerto Rican, so I understood what they were saying. When you have cussing and sensual lyrics, that's not music. Again, that was in the skies. Then you heard people cussing, all sorts of worldly stuff that did not honor God whatsoever. Like, they was having fun, but God was not in the center of it or any of it. They didn't want anything to do with God. There was a temporary pleasure on their part, but when you leave God out of anything, there is no joy. You may get pleasure of sin, but there is no joy. You still left empty after even you gotten drunk. Next day, when you're sober, when you wake up in the morning, you still have that same empty feeling. And from me knowing some people personally, I could say that's true. Again, but I'm not judging. And after I realized that, I was like, whoa, okay, I was wrong. I got in my feelings. I got in my flesh. I was wrong. And God gave me a quick reminder after that. I repented of how I felt. And he reminded me, he said, that's why I called you out. You're in here because you're in this house feeling the way you do. One, it's your choice to feel like that because he's always around. He never leaves you nor forsakes you. So if we tend to get in our feelings, it's our own fault. And he said, I'm not doing anything. I'm not involved. Though I could be. But it was his will for me to be separated. He said, this is why I called you out. This is why you're not even in the world no more. Because I have greater for you. Greater things that will last longer than the temporary pleasures of sin that will later lead to destruction. That would completely, ruin your life eventually and the lives of anybody that you have contact with. To either to full extent or to some degree. Because sin always has a domino effect. If you're living in it, you can't say that everybody that you're hanging around doesn't feel any effect of it, because they do. Like someone who drinks or someone who chooses to use drugs. They landed up in the hospital or they just lost their temper. Anybody that was around them, and if it was in their household. Hey, you're infected some way or another. Well, that's my point of this video. I didn't mean to make it this long, but that's an encouragement to you guys. So if you ever feel lonely, you ever feel like, oh, this sucks because everybody else is having fun, it seems like I'm not. Remember that the Christian life is the best you could possibly live. There is no other life. So anything that you search to have fun or have pleasure of outside of God and this Christian walk and walking in his footsteps doesn't even matter. They may be having fun for a moment, but you don't know a couple hours later or next day how they're going to feel. But with Christ, you always have joy because he never leaves you nor forsakes you. And you're being obedient, you're walking a holy life, a pure life, a righteous life. And you're being a light to so many other people. So even though you may have to feel down a little bit, suffer a little bit, okay, no, I take that back. There is no such thing as a little bit of suffering in this walk. But you get the gist of it. No matter what you have to go through, it's going to be to help somebody else later. And that's a greater joy that far exceeds anything else. Because when you see a life turn around for Christ, what else matters? No amount of money, no, not even an hour of partying, nothing. Because you're seeing your life turn around and you're seeing them have the same joy, same strength. You're seeing them have the same thing you got that turned your life around, and how the changes, the transformation that took place in your life and how you're living right now. You get a life saved for Christ. Life, soul saved, won over for Christ. Saved. There is no greater To me, that's my opinion. Anybody free to disagree. But to me, that's nothing greater than that. Hope you guys were encouraged. I'll put this video up on YouTube for anybody that has a YouTube channel. Subscribe. Because you guys kind of encouraged me for the first couple of videos to do a YouTube video. And it took me this long, but I did it. I got the courage to do it. Everybody knows I'm still shy. I hate the sound of my voice because I sound like a kid, and second, because I'm really not used to this at all. You know, I've always been shy. I've always been like that, so. But anyway, this is fun. I love encouraging you guys. I love passing on what God has shared with me. Even if it's for the weakest times of my life, I'll share it with you guys. Raw, real, honest, and open. Because I'll never know who it's going to do something for, how it's going to help or encourage somebody else. Only God knows that. So I'm being obedient and just letting Him use me however He wants. This is what I'm here for. This is my purpose. That's every Christian's purpose. Let God use them as a vessel of however He pleases. To go where He says go, do what He says do, say what He says say. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Have a happy Monday, have a blessed day, and have a blessed rest of the week if I don't make any more of these. Praying for you guys. Keep me in prayer, my family in prayer. We need it. We're going through a lot right now. But it doesn't stop me from having the joy of the Lord. Alright? Everybody else going through the same thing. The joy of the Lord is your strength. With Christ, you do all things. You know, keep focus on God. Those brothers and sisters that I've been seeing, your posts are on fire. Keep going. Don't stop. You guys are shining bright in this dark world. People need to see that. Keep going. No matter what the enemy throws your way, no matter what the world throws your way, no matter what people's opinions are, keep going. Don't ever stop. Because you don't know how many lives are coming to Christ through what you write, what you say in your videos also. Love you guys. Thank you.